Göbekli Tepe, an ancient archaeological site located in southeastern Turkey, has captivated scholars and historians with its mysterious T-shaped pillars and intricate carvings. Dating back to approximately 9,600 BCE, this site challenges conventional views of early human civilization, suggesting that complex social and spiritual structures existed far earlier than previously believed. The biblical stories of Seth, the third son of Adam, and his role in preserving ancient knowledge present numerous parallels to discoveries at Göbekli Tepe. This opens the intriguing possibility that these stories may have their root in historical fact, a legend of Göbekli Tepe preserved through oral tradition until eventually memorialized in scripture. By examining the parallels between the story of Seth and the carvings at Göbekli Tepe, particularly Pillar 42, we argue that these engravings should be reinterpreted through a broader scientific lens, considering them as repositories of ancient wisdom, preserved from a time of dramatic environmental upheaval. Göbekli Tepe's construction coincides with the end of the Younger Dryas, a period of significant climatic change marked by the abrupt melting of ice sheets and the subsequent rise in sea levels. This event, which occurred around 11,600 years ago, drastically altered the world's geography, submerging vast stretches of habitable land. The timing and scale of this environmental shift have led many to draw connections between the Younger Dryas and the Great Flood, a catastrophic deluge memorialized in the oral traditions of various cultures, including the biblical story of Noah. Göbekli Tepe consists of a series of circular enclosures, each featuring massive T-shaped stone pillars. These pillars, some weighing up to 10 tons, are intricately carved with images of animals, abstract symbols, and possible humanoid figures. One pillar in particular, Pillar 42, has drawn significant attention due to its potential astronomical significance. Pillar 42 is of particular interest because its carvings have been interpreted as depicting star positions, allowing researchers to date the construction of Göbekli Tepe to the Younger Dryas period. This pillar features carvings of animals and symbols that some researchers believe represent constellations or specific stars, as they would have appeared in the night sky around 10,950 BCE, just before the end of the Younger Dryas. The star positions on Pillar 42 suggest that the people who built Göbekli Tepe possessed advanced astronomical knowledge, possibly using the site as an observatory or as a place to record significant celestial events. This aligns closely with the tradition of Seth, where astronomical knowledge was preserved on stone pillars to endure through cataclysms. The potential link between the carvings on Pillar 42 and ancient star charts provides a compelling connection between the physical evidence at Göbekli Tepe and the mythological narrative surrounding Seth. In ancient texts, such as the Book of Jubilees and the writings of Flavius Josephus, Seth is portrayed as a righteous figure who played a crucial role in preserving the wisdom of the antediluvian world. According to Josephus, Seth's descendants inscribed their knowledge onto two pillars, one of brick and one of stone, to safeguard it against potential future catastrophes, such as a flood or fire. These pillars were intended to endure through time, ensuring that the accumulated wisdom of Seth's lineage would survive even the most devastating cataclysms. This narrative of Seth and the pillars resonates with the broader mythological theme of ancient knowledge being saved from destruction, a motif that appears in various cultures across the world. In the context of Göbekli Tepe, it is plausible to interpret the T-shaped pillars, particularly Pillar 42, not merely as structural elements but as symbolic repositories of the knowledge and wisdom of an advanced yet forgotten civilization. The construction of Göbekli Tepe during the Younger Dryas suggests that the site may have been built in response to the dramatic environmental changes of the time. Just as the biblical Seth is associated with preserving knowledge in anticipation of future cataclysms, the builders of Göbekli Tepe might have encoded their understanding of the world, possibly including astronomical, ecological, and spiritual knowledge, into the stone pillars as a means of preserving it through the ages. The star positions on Pillar 42 directly tie the site's construction to this period, reinforcing the connection between the environmental context and the need to preserve knowledge. The idea of preserving knowledge in stone pillars, as mentioned in the Seth tradition, aligns closely with the monumental pillars of Göbekli Tepe. These T-shaped monoliths, particularly Pillar 42, can be seen as physical embodiments of the pillars of Seth, serving a similar purpose of safeguarding ancient wisdom against the ravages of time. The carvings, especially those that correspond to star positions, could represent various aspects of the knowledge preserved by the site's builders, much like the astronomical and scientific knowledge attributed to the pillars of Seth. The astronomical significance of Pillar 42, with its potential star map carvings, mirrors the theme of the Seth tradition, where the preservation of astronomical knowledge was central. If Göbekli Tepe does indeed encode such knowledge, particularly in its alignment with celestial events, it would further strengthen the connection between the site and the Seth tradition, where the preservation of cosmic order and wisdom was paramount. The Younger Dryas and the subsequent rise in sea levels are events that could have been remembered in oral traditions as the Great Flood. If the story of Seth and the pillars emerged from these ancient memories, then Göbekli Tepe could be seen as a physical manifestation of the same narrative. A site where the survivors of a global catastrophe sought to preserve their knowledge for future generations. Pillar 42's carvings, tied to the star positions during this period, could be seen as a record of the sky as it appeared during a time of great change, immortalizing the knowledge of the era in stone. Re-evaluating the carvings of Göbekli Tepe, a call for broader scientific inquiry. Given the compelling parallels between the story of Seth and Göbekli Tepe, particularly the evidence provided by Pillar 42, we suggest that a broader scientific analysis of the site's carvings is warranted. Traditional interpretations have focused primarily on the carvings as representations of the natural world or as elements of a symbolic landscape tied to shamanic practices. While these interpretations are valuable, they may not capture the full scope of the knowledge encoded in the stones. We propose that researchers should consider the possibility that the carvings at Göbekli Tepe, particularly those on Pillar 42, represent a complex system of knowledge, potentially including astronomical, ecological, and even metaphysical information. This perspective would require a multidisciplinary approach, incorporating insights from archaeology, astronomy, linguistics, and comparative mythology to fully decipher the meaning of the carvings. For example, the star positions on Pillar 42 might not only symbolize celestial phenomena, but could also serve as a record of specific astronomical events or a guide to understanding the cosmic order as perceived by the people who built Göbekli Tepe. By considering these carvings in the context of ancient knowledge preservation, as seen in the Seth tradition, we might uncover new layers of meaning that have previously been overlooked. The story of Seth and his descendants' efforts to preserve ancient knowledge in stone pillars is a powerful narrative that resonates with the physical reality of Göbekli Tepe. By drawing these connections, particularly through the lens of Pillar 42's astronomical significance, we open the door to a deeper understanding of Göbekli Tepe as not merely an archaeological site, but as a testament to the enduring human desire to safeguard wisdom against the forces of time and nature. The parallels between the Seth tradition and Göbekli Tepe, especially as highlighted by the evidence from Pillar 42, suggest that the site's builders might have been motivated by similar concerns, preserving their knowledge and ensuring its transmission to future generations. As such, the carvings at Göbekli Tepe should be re-evaluated with a broader perspective in mind, considering the possibility that they represent a sophisticated system of knowledge that has yet to be fully understood. In light of these connections, we call for a renewed scientific inquiry into the engravings at Göbekli Tepe, particularly Pillar 42, encouraging researchers to explore the site not just as an ancient ceremonial center, but as a potential archive of profound and ancient wisdom, preserved in stone for the benefit of all humanity.